Hey there, Ultimate friends. Brian here, and I want to quickly go over a question I got from an Ultimate player that I work with about go-to essentials for training on the field or in the gym. So he asked, what are your go-to essentials on the field or in the gym when you are short on time? Also asked about explosiveness and layouts. That's going to be for another video, also very exciting. So let's start with on-field essentials, so a field workout, and we're going to start with warm-ups, then we'll get into what I would do for the body of the workout. So it depends exactly what you want to do. But for the warm-ups, you're short on time. Maybe you have 20, 30, 40 minutes, whatever it might be. The biggest priority is consistent movement for 5+ minutes. Even if that cuts into your time, if you get a solid warm-up, get your body warm, you're going to get much more out of the limited time you have, and you're going to be safer with that. I'll give you a few specific things. However, if you don't have any glaring issues that you need to address to get yourself ready, it almost doesn't matter what you do as long as you're consistently moving and your body gets warm, gets actually warm. So what I do recommend though, because they're very efficient, is cars. Okay, so big, slow joint rotations for the hips, shoulders, ankles, maybe doing 3 to 5 reps each joint. So this is assuming you don't have any major priorities. When in doubt, for Ultimate players, hips, shoulders, ankles. We're hitting all of our major bases there. Another really efficient thing you can do is a combination of crawls, lunges, and jumps. So this gets everything in your body working, your core, your shoulders, your legs and hips, and you're going to get your nervous system primed a little bit with some jumping. I wouldn't go with any max effort jumps. So maybe you're doing some skips, some little pogo hops, you're doing some easy shuffles. Pair that with side lunges, forward lunges, crossover lunges, Spider-Man crawls, inchworms, cub crawls. And this is going to very effectively get your whole body warm and build up even a little bit of fatigue, which you'll have time to recover from. Additionally, if there's anything you just really love that feels good, awesome. What I recommend when you're short on time, though, is get yourself moving right off the bat in a lower intensity way, gradually build the intensity, and then you can work in some active stretches and things if you want to do that. But start off, just get yourself moving and maintain some regular movement. So if you're doing some different mobility or active stretching drills, in between them, keep yourself moving. You're bouncing on the balls of your feet, you're jogging, whatever it might be. Now we'll get into the body of the workout, and this is going to depend a little bit on exactly what you want to accomplish in this session, but here's a basic recommendation I like if you're short on time. Do something powerful, do something for speed acceleration, and then finish with something a bit fatiguing and conditioning. So you're getting some nice stimulus in different areas here, and you feel like you got a good session in. So for the power, simple, I really like skips for distance, skips for height with focus. Okay, this is not a warm-up focus. This is a max effort focus, skips for distance, skips for height. Then you can add in some jumps. So things I like, broad jumps and approach jumps. Okay, so you're taking several steps into a powerful jump for the approach jump off 1 or 2 feet or both, depending on time. And I would only do 1 to 2 sets of each of these things so that you have time for everything else. Next, you can work into some acceleration start. So for these, you can pick different positions. You can go half kneeling, you can go athletic stance, you can go staggered stance, right leg forward, staggered stance, left leg forward. Really simple is you could do like 2 to 4 reps from each stance. So I might go athletic stance and staggered stance and do 2 to 4 reps each way. So I'm doing 8 to 10 reps total acceleration. So I'm focusing on going like 15 yards, get out there as fast as I can. Big strides, big arm drives, taking maybe a minute in between. Something you can do here, while it may not be the most optimal, is cut the rest time down a little bit because you're limited on time. So if you were going to take a full rest between the speed and acceleration work, you might only get a few reps in. So I would say take like 30 to 40 seconds between some of the acceleration starts. You're still going to stay plenty fresh. It's not going to be a big deal. We know this is not going to be a perfect session. Then I like to finish off with something fatiguing. So it might only be 1 or 2 sets. So a nice thing I love, self-fetch. I throw the disc to myself. I sprint after it. I know I'm going to work hard. I'm not going to be as bothered by less rest because I'm chasing something. Another really simple thing you can do, you could run a 400 if there's a track. You could run 1 or 2 400s. You don't have to think. You just go do it. It doesn't take a lot of time. You rest for 1 to 2 minutes in between. You could run some form of shuttles. So you could do 150 or 300 yard shuttle run where you go 25 yards and back for 3 to 6 laps. And again, I would recommend 1 to 2 sets. We don't need overkill. We want our power stimulus, our speed acceleration stimulus, and a fatigue conditioning stimulus. So we don't need a ton of sets with this. Thing I'll say with the body of the workout is really the biggest thing is how does your body feel and what is it prepared for? So sometimes if it's a shorter warm-up period, you don't have quite as much time to really get into it, the full speed or full power work might not feel as good. Just depends on how you're doing. So maybe you just go right into a little bit more conditioning, a little more fatiguing stuff that's at a not full speed intensity. Okay, so that's what I recommend for on the field. Now, if we're thinking of a gym session, a training session in the gym, short on time. Same thing goes for the warm-ups, right? I would still recommend warming up, get yourself moving, move in similar ways that you are planning to move in the gym. So if you want to do squats, want to do deadlifts, something like that, get yourself moving in those patterns. I still really like lunges and crawls and some sort of like hopping or jumping around because it's a great way to get everything quickly prepared. And something to think about when you decide what exactly you're going to do is what allows you to safely get a solid training stimulus. So you want to get moving, you want to be pushing some weight maybe or doing some form of conditioning, but you want to do it safely. And if doing a heavy deadlift or heavy squat day, for example, takes a lot of time and takes a lot of preparation, maybe you are not doing that or you're going a little lighter with the weight. Okay, so if we're talking about big bang for your buck exercises, sled pushes. I absolutely love them. You can work really hard in a really short period of time. If you're pushing max effort, a decent amount of weight with sleds for 20 to 30 seconds or less, and you do 3 to 6 sets with 1 to 2 minutes in between, that alone is a solid workout and it's going to gas you. Okay, so sled pushes can be nice. You can also do them less fatiguing as a way to warm up and get prepared for some other stuff. Another really good one is weighted lunges. So if I'm doing walking forward lunges, or reverse lunges, I'm holding moderate weight and going for sets of 16 to 30 reps total. So like 8 to 15 reps per leg continuously. That is a really solid conditioning and strength stimulus. So maybe instead of going with a super hard strength workout, you're doing moderate weight, you're dropping it a little bit, raising the reps, and you do 2 to 4 sets there. And it's a pretty solid full body workout because you have to hold the weights as well with your arms. Another big one, of course, squats and deadlifts are really good because they're going to engage most of your body to do them. Again, I would recommend probably, unless that's the only thing you're going to do, if you're short on time, I would recommend dropping the weight a little bit, maybe raising the reps, or you can do low rep at a moderate weight and do more sets because you won't take as long to recover. So you could do like, maybe you do 8 sets of 3 or 8 sets of 4, but you're not going to failure or close to failure. So that way you can move a little bit more continuously. Another option with the weighted work with weighted lunges, deadlifts, squats, bench, whatever it might be, I tend to go like lower body if I'm low on time because I really want to get myself working a little bit harder. But another option for the loaded work would be do powerful first and then fatiguing sets. So you could go slightly lower weight for 2 sets and focus on speed and power. And you're really pushing the speed, moderate to light weight. Then going into either heavier weight for like lower reps, right? Or maintain the weight and just go for higher rep ranges to really fatigue. So same idea as with the field workout where we're starting with speed and power type stuff, and then we're doing kind of conditioning fatigue oriented stuff. So I've done this before where I might do 2 sets of a squat for 6 to 8 reps, pushing some weight a little bit more powerfully, right? Then I might just double the reps and go, I'm going to go close to failure on this one, take a little more time to recover, and then do another set there close to failure. So you're getting a little bit different stimulus where a little more power strength for some sets, and then others are a little bit more conditioning, kind of like gut check type things. So this works really well for if you don't have a lot of time, because again, you get a nice training stimulus, even if it's not perfect, even if you're not like, wow, I'm optimizing for power, optimizing for strength, you are getting a muscular and a conditioning effect in a short period of time. And the last option I'll go over is some form of supersets can save a lot of time. So let's say you're going to do maybe a bench press and a deadlift or lunges, whatever it might be. I like to go either like core and lower body, core, upper body, or upper body, lower body supersets. So you might do bench press and deadlift. And rather than resting in between, you're going to hit one set and then go immediately to the other one and then go back and forth. So the working muscles are getting a rest, but your body as a whole, your system is not resting. You're going to get more of a conditioning effect. Yes, you will not be able to perfectly optimize for power or strength, but that is okay because you'll be able to fit more in. You'll get a conditioning effect. We know this is not going to be perfect, but this is a really good way to get a lot of work in a short period of time. The key is to use loads, use weights where you can stay safe even when you get fatigued. Okay, so that's the big thing. Safety is the biggest key. So just to reiterate, sleds, I love those. Weighted lunges, squats and deadlifts, big bang for your buck. You have the option of going powerful and then moving into more fatiguing high rep sets. You can also do supersets with an upper and lower body where you're working different muscle groups back to back. Another option with the supersets is you can work the same muscle group. So you could do deadlifts and then go right into jumps or right into like body weight squats, right? You could do bench press right into push-ups. So kind of an loaded and unloaded exercise, which is going to push more fatigue and do it more safely. So hopefully this is helpful. These are all the things I think about when we are a little shorter on time, the big bang for your buck stuff. But remember, safety is number one. Hope you enjoyed this. Hope it was helpful and have a great day.